Greetings. Welcome. I am so glad that you guys are here. We are going to get right into it. We have a lot to cover. Welcome to Burn Your Babes. I'm your host, Vali Chikuni. We begin. Mrs. Farmer, aka Candace Owens. I mean, at this point, is she still Mrs. Farmer? Oh, Mrs. Kirk. Okay, because it looks like Erica Kirk has been sidelined. Has been sidelined. But we have all that for you guys. So let's get right into it. Bring those comments. We're going to feature them along the way. So, as you know, Candace Owens, she's back, okay? And a lot of allegations that she's putting out, okay? So, to start with, let's take a look at this clip, okay? I'll make my commentary along the way. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Here we go.
Everything Turning Point is doing is wrong. And you know it's wrong. You know it's wrong deep down. And I want to say this because there has been a lot of reading in between the lines. It's strange to me. I think I'm a very direct person. I say what I mean. And I do not want people to mistake what's happening right now or to wrongly assume my intentions here. So allow me to be very explicit, okay? I want war with all of you, okay? All of you. And there's a reason. I'm going to get to that reason in a little bit. But I want war with all of you. So write your articles, issue your statements, email the White House, reach out for comment, okay? Say whatever it is you want to say about me. I want war with all of you. Because I know this isn't right. And there is no way you are going to convince me and the rest of the world that all of this is normal. We're not just going to keep on going and jump into a succession plan. We're going to figure out what the hell happened on September 10th first. And I'm going to tell you guys that Charlie had a vision. We'll get to that after a few ads.
All right. So, yes, that is Mrs. Farmer with... she's back, and this is how she's starting. All right. So, as you can see what she says, she doesn't want to rush into succession because Charlie had a plan. So, in case you haven't been paying attention, okay, Erica Kirk was chosen to succeed her husband. So now, not only that, according to the report, it was unanimous. Okay, so the board voted overwhelmingly that Erica Kirk should take over Turning Point. She is the CEO of Turning Point. She is the woman in charge. But according to Mrs. Farmer, no, we shouldn't rush to succession plan because Charlie Kirk had a plan. What is the plan that Charlie Kirk had that nobody is aware of but Candace Owens, a married woman, Mrs. Farmer? She's aware about it. Nobody else knows about it. So she has this program, okay, and then she's going to show us the text messages that her and Charlie Kirk used to send back and forth, back and forth. But meantime, she's requesting a war, okay? Not only is she requesting war, she does not approve for the succession plan that's going on at Turning Point, okay? So Candace Owens, just to put it blank, she has declared war on Erica Kirk. Mr. Farmer, where are you? George Farmer, where are you? At this point, I'm sorry, guys. Okay, what is this? To my knowledge and everything else I know, Charlie Kirk was married to Erica Kirk. And announced to us, Charlie had a different plan. So let's watch how all this is going to unfold. But thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. All right, we continue. Here is Candace Owens, a.k.a. Mrs. Farmer. Okay, here we go.
To breathe, to hike, to listen to way too much Kanye West music. I absolutely love the mountains. I am a mountain person, so to speak. Wyoming is, in fact, my favorite state in the union. And it felt fitting also because the first time I ever visited Wyoming, I was with Charlie Kirk. I then visited Wyoming many times thereafter over the years. And he was the last time I went to Wyoming, I was with Charlie Kirk. He was the last person I visited with. And it was for, ironically, Foster Fries's funeral, who was a big time donor to Turning Point USA, still is, I believe. Charlie, I was thinking out there and remembering, paid for my flight to Wyoming. I had to get there very quickly because I was doing Joe Rogan's podcast. It was huge. I didn't even know what the Joe Rogan podcast was at that moment. That's how I was so not politically inclined at all. And he's like, this is the biggest podcast. You got to do this. I completely bombed it, by the way. I was so nervous. I think I said like about 3,000 times. But then I had to very quickly get over to Wyoming because Kanye had invited me to his album release party. And again, ironically, where he held that album release party would be where years later, Foster Friess would have his funeral. And so Wyoming felt fitting. I fished while I was out there. And so I want you guys to know another fun fact about Charlie Kirk. He hated fishing. He absolutely loved the mountain. He loved hiking. He was quite the athlete, but he hated fishing. It just was not his thing. In the same way that golf is just not my thing. Fishing was not his. And this photo that I'm about to show you makes me laugh because we were in British Columbia fishing. And here's a photo of me and Charlie. And I was so excited about this catch. Charlie's eyes are closed here. And as soon as, I think it was Don Jr., it might have been Corey Lewandowski, hit flash, took the picture, Charlie just went, ugh. I don't know why you guys like this because he was too hyperactive. He always wanted to be planning and doing a million things at once. And fishing takes time. You got to set the bait.
Yes. So this is Candace Owens telling you the history of her and Charlie Kirk. Okay? So remember, we are on this journey. According to Candace Owens, she is investigating as to who deleted Charlie Kirk. Okay? So this is where she's going. So my question is, what does the trip that she took with Charlie Kirk in 2018 got to do with what has happened to Charlie Kirk in 2025. So that trip happened before Charlie Kirk was married, and that trip happened before Candace Owens was married. But no. Candace Owens wants to present to the audience, like, wait a minute. She and Charlie Kirk just took this trip literally maybe a week before Charlie Kirk died. This is how she's representing all this. So I'm sitting here. She promised that when she comes back, she was going to produce evidence. She was going to show us to exactly what happened to Charlie Kirk. So we can all back, okay, this is the person, right? After all, it's not Tyra Robinson. It's not whatever the FBI is saying. All right, Candace, what is it? Can you show us the proof? Can you show us the evidence? Now that you're back, you're taking us back into the memory land. Huh? You and Charlie Kirk back in the day in 2018. Huh? Oh my goodness. George Farmer, where are you? Come get your woman out here, man. Okay? So, yes, we'll also have George Farmer. He told us who exactly he married. Okay? His words, not mine. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's time now to revamp this situation. Okay? So, in case you guys are not aware, I'm all for people getting married as quickly as possible. So, from the time Candace Owens and George Farmer met, it was within 18 days. Okay? Within 18 days, the proposal happened and the marriage happened. So, what's going on? But Candace, she's not done. So, let's hear some more she's saying over here. Here we go, guys.
It's now been 47 days since my friend Charlie Kirk was executed in front of the world, because that's what it was, a public execution. And call me crazy. Many people do. But I was so clearly deluded in the immediate aftermath of his death that I was operating under this function. I mean, I truly believed.
So sorry, because this is Candace Owens, the words that she's using, you cannot just ignore, okay? There's a purpose, there's a reason. Remember, there's a difference between execution and an assassination, okay? What happened to Charlie Kirk was an assassination, not an execution. Execution is what happens after somebody has been tried and then they execute it. But Candace Owens is saying this on purpose, okay? So don't just dismiss what's coming out of her mouth. It's intention, there's a reason behind it, okay? But we continue.
That I would be fighting for answers to what actually happened on 9/10 alongside Charlie's inner circle. I thought the band maybe was going to get back together. We were all going to maybe be on a group chat. Me, Tyler Boyer, Andrew Colvett, Stacey Sheridan even. If you're wondering who Stacey Sheridan is, by the way, she's the one who's holding the camera when Charlie's casket is being escorted off of Air Force Two. She's like the chief money person, essentially, at Turning Point USA. She was brought in to reel in the big donors. I remember exactly when that happened. All of those people, by the way, were actually brought in by Tyler Boyer. He's a very important character in the story, but we're going to get into all of that tomorrow. The point that I'm making here is that I had assumed, clearly wrongly, that we'd all maybe be on a group chat communicating, raising hell and demanding answers from the feds, from the police, from the White House even. Certainly, at the very least, pointing out the very many holes in this story. And if any one of us had the audacity or the desire to carry on Charlie Kirk's show, that would be the appropriate venue for asking those sorts of questions. But no, I was wrong. Silence. Silence is what we were met with. In fact, I am told that these people believe the official narrative. Lone shooter. No one else involved. Just a crazy guy with too many pronouns in his bio. Hey, 1963 called and they want their narrative back. All that's missing from the story is a grassy knoll, right? Just need a grassy knoll. Anyways, back at headquarters, I am told it's business as usual. And it's kind of giving me like, I don't know, LBJ when he gets sworn in that famous picture. Unfortunately, sworn in. Unfortunately, of course, he's sad in this photo. Gosh, he's obviously not wanting to be the president of the United States. JFK was shot and killed. And now LBJ has to step up, unfortunately. But I got to be honest, I wasn't there. I don't think LBJ was actually that upset. I don't know why. Vibes. The vibes just aren't vibing for me in that picture, but maybe he was. Maybe the truth is that LBJ simply, to use an expression, had his wits about him. And JFK had a plan, like in the event that he had been horrifically assassinated in front of the world.
So, if you're paying attention, in this case, in this scenario, who is LBJ? Who has taken over Turning Point after Charlie Kirk died? Okay? I'm using the word died because on this platform. Okay? Who took over after Charlie Kirk? Is Erica Kirk. So in this instant, so LBJ is Erica Kirk, who happens to be the wife, who happens to be the next of kin. Guys, you don't even have to like Erica Kirk, okay? The fact that she was married to Charlie Kirk, she is the next of kin. There's nothing you can do about it. There is absolutely nothing you can do about it. If the same situation happened to Candace Owens, okay? George Farmer, people always say 250, he is the heir to 250 million. The George Farmer's dad is the one who's worth 250 million. I think George Farmer is 70, but be that as it may, okay? So let's say George Farmer, takes over the 250 million, okay? And God forbid something happens to George Farmer. Isn't Candace the right heir to inherit the 250? And now people have to go back. Wait a minute. We knew that Candace Owens was up to no good. After all, who gets married within 18 days of meeting somebody? Okay? So now George Farmer is gone. George Farmer's dad is gone. Candace Owens stands to inherit 250 million. You see where this is going? So anybody can play the same game that Candace Owens is playing right now. Anybody will be like, yeah, wait a minute, exactly. Who gets married within 18 days of meeting somebody? Okay? And across the pond, England and US, right? But you get the point. So now she is not happy. She doesn't want, but you gotta give. She hasn't mentioned Erica Kirk's name, but by implication, Erica Kirk is implicated in all this. Okay, because she is demanding war, and she's saying that Turning Point USA is not doing anything. Who is in charge of Turning Point USA? So she is saying that Erica Kirk is not doing anything. And now Erica Kirk is JBF. Oh, but like, okay. So let's hear her, what she's saying. Maybe she's going to produce evidence. So let's watch.
JFK maybe had a succession plan. Now, if these terms I'm using here sound familiar to you, it's because they should sound familiar. It's the exact terminology that was utilized by Pastor Rob McCoy just 4 days after Charlie was murdered. In front of his congregation, he spoke about Charlie's succession plan that he was somehow privy to. I don't know why, but he knew 4 days later and announced to the world that Charlie indeed had a plan. Take a listen.
Everyone's worried about the leadership of TPUSA. Don't. He was wise enough at 31 to put together a plan for succession. It's very clear what they decided, and they're implementing it now.
Amazing. I mean, amazing. So on September 14th, we were made aware of this succession plan, and I find that to be fascinating. The people who didn't even know Charlie all around the world seem to be fighting harder for him, fighting harder for truth. And it is, in fact, thanks to people on the internet like Sam Parker, James Lee, Ian Carroll, Zeb Boykin, many others, that a video from September 10th has gone pretty viral, okay? So let's take a look at this. It's a video of course, Pastor Rob McCoy's son. His name is Mike McCoy. And you're going to see what he does, not in the seconds following Charlie getting shot, but in less than 1 second after Charlie gets shot. These are not seconds, less than 1 second. You're going to watch what Michael McCoy does. First, let's hear his daddy's version of the event. Take it away, Pastor McCoy.
Okay, so before we listen to Rob McCoy, Candace Owens, she's not happy that Charlie Kirk had a succession plan. And why wouldn't you not be happy that Charlie had a succession plan? He had a big organization. He has a wife. He has kids. So is that a strange thing for him to have put things in place? What's wrong with that? So are we to say right now that George Farmer doesn't have a plan for his household? That Englishman doesn't have a plan for his household if, lo and behold, something happens to him? So now are we going to be questioning? Like, no, who has a succession plan? He has 4 kids and a wife. He shouldn't have any succession plan. He shouldn't put anything else in place. What's wrong with having a succession plan? And what does the succession plan prove? If anything, the person who has taken over is Erica Kirk, who happens to be the wife of Charlie Kirk. She's the widow of Charlie Kirk. So would it have made any difference if it wasn't Erica Kirk, somebody else? Are you honestly telling me that Candace Owens would be fine with it? So if she's not happy that Erica Kirk has taken over Turning Point USA, who does she want? Honestly, who does she want? So believe it or not, this woman, she has deluded herself. She honestly, truly believes that she is the one who was supposed to be in place of Erica Kirk. Like Charlie's gone, the person to succeed, turning point, had to be Candace Owens. Do I need to remind you guys that remember, she worked for Turning Point. After Turning Point, she went to PragerU. After PragerU, she went to Daily Wire. Now she's here. So even if, let's just grant that, okay, maybe Charlie wanted to leave Candace Owens. Does that make sense to you? After Prager, after Daily Wire, all these years, then Charlie can go be like, you know what, I'm leaving Turning Point to Candace Owens. Hey, oh man, you cannot make this stuff up. You absolutely cannot make this stuff up. So yes, this is her bringing war pretty much to the doorstep of Erica Kirk. She is actually daring Erica Kirk to respond, to say something. At this point, Mrs. Kirk, just keep quiet. I know it hurts, but at this point, just keep quiet. Because I had two theories, okay? Before, I was like, you know what? The stuff that Candace Owens is doing, either Erica Kirk is behind all this, that way, you know, Candace is her spokeswoman, or she completely hates this. So at this point, oh, no way. There is no way she can be behind what Candace Owens is doing. Because to me, that's the only thing that actually would make sense. Like, okay, the audacity of a married woman to be doing this about someone else's husband, I'm sorry, it's beyond me. This is none of her business, okay? She's gone way too far. It's beyond investigation. It's very disrespectful. It's absolutely disrespectful. If you didn't know Candace Owens or Erica Kirk, like you just came on the scene right now, you'd actually think she's the ex-wife, or you actually think like, oh, Candace Owens is actually the widow. Honestly, you know, I'm like, no, this is too much. Absolutely too much. So before we go to what she has to say about Rob McCoy, welcome, guys. Welcome. So glad that you are here. What are you guys saying? Greetings. Yes, Julia, that's also my theory, to be quite honest, okay? Because at this point, I mean, she's been on this journey, okay? So we should just accept, like, it's going in something else, okay? Oh, yes! Okay, good to see you, Diplomat. Thank you for being here, okay? Oh, I don't think anybody can convince me either. Okay, I think she's lost it. She has lost it. In her mind, to be honest, she was married to Charlie Kirk. And now Charlie Kirk is gone, just like, ooh, now what do I do? This is how she's behaving. There's no way a married woman can be doing what she's doing. I'm sorry. Greetings, Amber Rose. Good to see you. Thank you. Oh, from Ohio. You used to be a swing state, not anymore. But nevertheless, okay, they stayed from the what? The vice president, right? From Ohio. All right, no more swing state. Good to see you. Okay, she's mad. She has not been included. Why would she be included in anything? That doesn't make sense to you. And then she said that, yes, exactly, this is what she says. That after Charlie, she expected that she was going to be in the group chat, in the inner circle, to be dissecting to see what happened to Charlie. Why should she be on the chat? Why? Why would she be included in the chat? She wasn't working for Turning Point USA. Why would she be in the chat? And how does she know that the chat doesn't exist? Huh? Or how does she know that the chat doesn't exist? Okay, like we saw, there were the chat messages that came out. Pastor Rob McCoy was on the chat. Candace Owens wasn't on the chat, okay? And she has come after, she's coming after Rob McCoy. Josh Hammer was on the chat, and, she's also coming after Josh Hammer, okay? So, no. If they wanted her to be on the chat, she would have been on the chat, but she wasn't. And why should she be on the chat? To me, I don't get it. Why is Candace Owens demanding that after the incident of Charlie Kirk, that she should have been on the group chat to find out, to be in the know, to be in the inner circle? Why? You were not in the inner circle to begin with. Why should you be in the inner circle? Are you Erica Kirk's best friend? Like, does that even, to me, I'm like, the audacity, what she's demanding, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Okay? No. You are not entitled to be in the inner circle of what was going on or what's going on right now. Okay? You continue with your investigation. That's all she should be doing. Yes, because I don't understand why she feels so entitled that she had to be in the chat. Like who? I mean, unless maybe we're missing something. Is there a marriage certificate out there that's listing Candace Owens as the second wife to Charlie Kirk? Maybe there is one. Okay? If that's the case, hey, I stand corrected, Mrs. Farmer. I was under impression that you are Mrs. Farm. What's happening? We need to know out here. But no, guys, that's not all. All right. She's expected to be part of the group again. Yes, this is what I'm saying. This is crazy, man. You know? And she could claim she's like a sibling. Well, exactly. She's not even a sibling. She's not related to Charlie Kirk. She's not part of the family. So why should she be? So can you imagine, okay, if this was her situation, right? Like, okay, if, Candace Owens has lost her husband, know that she should lose her husband. And then somebody like Erika Kirk should be demanding, oh, I need to be in the group text to find out what has happened to Candace Owens' husband. I mean, we're also going to look at her funny, like, why? Why should you be, So to me, I'm like, it's so crazy. What she's demanding, would she allow other people to demand the same thing if the situation was reversed? Huh? So to me, no. To follow Candace in the pandemic, yes, like, oh, you're not the only one. I used to follow her and everything, but it's just like, no, she's doing something else. What she's doing it's improper. I mean, you can ask the questions. She wants to do the prior investigation. She can do all that, right? There's a place for her to do that, to question, to do all these things. But at this point, honestly, guys, where is the respect of her husband? Where is the respect of that alone? Where is that respect? So, no, this is not it. So now let's listen in to how she is laying a charge against Rob McCoy. All I'm saying is, if Pastor Rob McCoy is implicated in this thing, Candace, please provide the evidence. Provide the evidence. You just running around accusing this person, is just not going to cut it. Okay? So watch this, guys.
As a father, I want to protect my son. And I thought, I got a plan for you, son. He said, Dad, that's not Charlie's plan. And you know what? I'm looking at my son who's 24 years old. Justin's the CFO, chief financial officer, and Mikey's the chief of staff. And I'm watching, the minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray. I said, okay, son. He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him. And
two things I want you to remember here. You may have caught that, but he said, I was watching. And the minute Charlie got shot, he called, and Mikey McCoy says to his dad, Charlie's been shot, pray for him. He says the minute, maybe he's being a little hyperbolic. We're going to find out. I'd certainly like to find out. But he stops himself. He says, I was watching. Watching what exactly? What were you watching? I remember that. It's rubbing me the wrong way. And I'm going to tell you why that's rubbing me the wrong way in a little bit. But the bigger thing is that he says Mikey had blood all over him. Except Mikey did not have blood anywhere near him because Mikey was behind the tent when Charlie got shot. And Mikey, in less than a second, does something that I find to be quite strange. He puts his phone to his ear and he begins a conversation. So we're going to watch that clip in its entirety. Mark is going to bring it in. So we decided to slow this clip down, and we're going to watch this clip slow down so you can see that it is exactly 834 milliseconds from the time that you hear the shot. That is how long it takes for Mikey McCoy to put the phone to his ear. Now, why is that precise timing so important? Because there's no dialing. Mikey didn't have time to dial, okay? You can't dial and put your phone to an ear in 0.834 seconds. The next time that you're going to see Mikey McCoy, as we just showed you, is in just under 2.5 seconds on the other side of the tent. He's on a phone call. So we can track Mikey, but let's watch the clip again in milliseconds so you really grasp how quickly this transpires. So when this clip was brought, there we go, we're tracking that. Yeah, when the clip was brought to my attention, I obviously have a file, a big folder of files of every angle, and I decided to track Mikey from every angle available to see, like, maybe we just missed it, and he did at some point put that phone down, dial a number, speed dial, hold down one, I don't know. Maybe we missed it, because that seems automatic, right? 0.834, that seems pretty quick. And no, he doesn't do that. We even have him in front of Charlie's car. When Charlie is brought to the car, the waiting car rather, he is still on the phone. I can show you the clip of that. Take a look at this. Don't worry, we'll slow it down for you. See him in the background with the backpack? It's Mikey McCoy, okay? So what are we to make of that? The only logical conclusion that I can come up with, and many others, because I've pressed, I said, play devil's advocate. I want you to advocate for Mikey McCoy. I want you to play lawyer, and you are representing your client, Mikey McCoy. What was he? How did he do it this quickly? No one could win this game. The only logical conclusion that we come up with was that Mikey was already on a phone call at 12:23 p.m. By 12:23 p.m., he was already on a phone call. So I said, let's go back a little earlier in the footage and see if we can find when he actually maybe dials onto the phone. Maybe we can see him pick up the phone and begin a call before the shot takes off. And then after beginning that call, if we're following this logic, that would mean he puts his phone down until Charlie gets shot. And we were able to find what we think could be that moment. And I can tell you that it is 1 minute and 45 seconds approximately before that shot goes off. And we can watch that here. You see Mikey's on his phone here, and you're going to see he pulls it up and he starts to cover his ear again. Now, that could be unrelated. Again, we're taking a guess here. That's what made the most sense to us because we couldn't justify it in any other way. And I want to be clear, we're not here to make assumptions, okay? And we wouldn't have to make any assumptions if Turning Point USA could just tell the truth. They could just be open and they could be honest about everything. Okay, I obviously went out to both Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvett for a statement, asked those two questions. Hey, who were you on the phone with? What's going on here? No response. Weird. Because if that was me and I saw clips going viral and people were drawing conclusions from that clip, thinking that I was already on the phone, thinking that my reaction was weird, I would instantly hit back. I'd say, here's my call log.
Okay, so there you have it, okay? So now Mike McCoy, who happens to be the chief of staff of Turning Point, and this is the accusations, but according to her, she's not making any assumptions, okay? But literally, she has just accused Mike McCoy, okay? So let's grant her premise. Everything what Candace Owens is saying is 100% correct. It is true. Does that prove that Mike McCoy is the one who did that to Charlie Kirk? Where is the evidence that to prove that Mike McCoy is the one who did that to Charlie Kirk? If you're telling me that Mike McCoy was on the phone, okay, yeah, he didn't dial, he didn't do all those other things, right? How is that connected to Charlie Kirk? If anything, at least you say, okay, you can see him that he was on the phone, so there is no way that he is the one who pulled the trigger because he's on the phone. So unless you're telling me the phone, him talking on the phone is the same as, pulling the trigger, but given this is Candace Owens, you cannot put past that, okay? So Turning Point has responded to this, okay? And this idea of her demanding that Mike McCoy should communicate to Candace Owens, for what? For what reason? She's not the lawyer. She's not the FBI. She has no authority to be demanding that type of information. If Mike McCoy and those guys want to give Candace the information, it's their prerogative. But if they don't want to, there's nothing you can do about it. Okay? So if that issue is penitent to the evidence, guess what? They are going to call Mike McCoy on the stand. And they're going to ask him, what were you doing? Who were you calling? Who were you speaking to? Okay, you were on the phone. They can pull out the phone logs. They'll be able to see at this hour, at this minute, at this second, you were talking to this particular person, and what was the nature of that particular conversation. Those things, it's not even hard to find. They can be investigated. So as far as him putting his ear, one hand over here, speaking, that place is noise. You were in a crowded place. Everybody's doing all sorts of things that are actually happening at the same time. So if Candace Owens is bringing that as evidence to prove that Mike McCoy had something to do with Charlie Kirk, we need more than that. We absolutely need more than that, okay? So if anything, she needs to produce okay, that phone call was from Mike McCoy to Tyra Robinson. You see what I'm saying? And that can be traced, that can be verified. Until she produces that, she has nothing. But nevertheless, Turning Point issued a response because this thing is going viral. So remember, the judge issued a gag order. All the people who were there at the event are potential witnesses, so they are not supposed to say anything as it relates to this situation, as it relates to the case. So I don't see why he would be communicating to Candace. And even if he wanted to, with everything else that's going on, would you communicate to Candace Owens? I know I wouldn't. So let's see what turning point response is to the situation with Mike McCoy. Okay, take a listen. Here we go, guys.
Suggestion online that Mikey, Charlie's chief of staff, one of the most sincere people you'd ever meet, brilliant, Christian, kind, everyone who's he ever met in his entire life, couldn't hurt a fly, was part of a conspiracy to murder Charlie. That's what's going on.
Yeah. It's vile. It's utterly vile.
Who would do this? Like, what type of individual? Just to create content, do we think, or is there some? What's the ulterior?
I don't know. I think a lot of this mindset just sort of fuels itself. It's sort of addictive in the same way a lot of social media stuff is addictive, or in the way like honestly something like pornography is addictive or something. Like they get really they almost get a high off of like the idea of like that they're doing something that's daring or out there.
Yeah, and I want to make one other point though, and this is actually to your point. You saw Mikey do heroic things that day. I saw Mikey do heroic things. I was not on site, but I immediately flew to Utah. We got a plane. I mean, it's not something that I'm used to, but it was like my wife went with me. We went straight over. I knew I needed to be with Erica and the team immediately, just because, I just knew. But that moment when I got the news, I was so shell-shocked. I was not even there, but I was immediately traumatized. My brain fries like an egg. I can't see straight. I can't think straight. All I knew is that, like, what's happening? My wife came in. She, like, hugged me. We started crying together. And I can't even remember those moments very clearly. I wasn't even there. Mikey was two steps
talked
away.
about that.
And I asked him, I was like, do you even remember the moments after? He's like, I can't even really remember. I know I called Erica. I know I called my wife. I know I called my dad. I can't even really remember the steps I took. I can't. But here's the last thing I want to make a point of. And because Charlie had given me similar instructions along the years, said if anything ever happens to me, you call Erica.
Yeah, that's the other
thing. And he drilled that into Mikey's brain so that when this moment of trauma happened, that he turned around and he knew how to do it. And by the way, last thing, because this is part of the video allegations here, is that they think they're alleging that he was on the phone immediately. He was not. He was taking social videos, which he would send to our group chat, which we would then put on Charlie's social while the event was happening, so you could see like the crowd come in or his interactions. And we were only 2 questions into this event, so he was still getting it out to all the chats he needed to do, which he did at every event. He turns around, and it was so blaringly loud, I'm told. You would know this better than I, but this is what I'm told. It was so blaringly loud, and he was so shell-shocked. He put his fingers in his ear, but his phone was still in his hand. He walks away. And not even walk. I want to, because people are talking about that. The way it was is we had a cordoned off area with grates, so you had controlled access. All the people when this happened.
And also, I don't know why Candace Owens is making this like a big deal. We know right now everybody is always on their phone. Everybody is always on their phone. How did we know that Charlie Kirk was shot? Like you could actually see the actual video, him bleeding out and everything else. Why? Because people were on their phone. Everybody's always on their phone. So it's not a strange thing that somebody was on their phone. And according to this information, he was, responsible for doing socials and everything. It's not out of the norm that he was on the phone. I don't find that to be odd. But once again, Candace Owens find that to be odd. And yet everybody else is on the phone. Where is the video about the person who actually filmed the actual Charlie Kirk? And after all, everything was a video. They were live streaming this thing. I don't understand why she's making this, but for some reason, this, the McCoy, she's been saying, because Mike McCoy, his dad is Rob McCoy. So both of them do work for Turning Point USA. So this stuff does not sit well with Candace Owens because she looks like these people, now Charlie's gone, they're still going to have jobs with Turning Point USA. It's like the people she doesn't like are the ones who are benefiting for Turning Point USA. She wants to be the one. That's how I see it, to be quite honest. She needs to produce enough evidence so that, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we don't have to carry water for Rob McCoy or Mike McCoy. If they had something to do with this issue, she needs to bring it out. We'll be happy out here and scrutinize it. We'll be happy to scrutinize it, for sure. But as it is right now, just like, this is not enough evidence, Candace Owens. I'm sorry.
Happens, they all get the idea we should leave before we are shot. And so there's a little narrow gap that I think people, it's not really walking, it's that everyone has to slow up to get through this little narrow choke point to get out of the area. And
anyways, well, the point is he walks briskly. I don't even care if he's walking, running, whatever, because again, the most traumatic thing you could imagine had just happened to him. My brain fried. I cannot imagine what was going through your guys' head being on the scene and seeing it.
Okay, so that was Turning Point issued, that was their response from Mike McCoy. Now that was Andrew Covert who was speaking. He's a spokesperson for Turning Point USA. And Mike McCoy was the chief of staff to Charlie Kirk. And Candace Owens is accusing both of them, I guess father and son. Who knows? But this lady, I'm sorry, she's losing it. Okay, so let's see how she's going to, what else she has to say about this issue. So that was from Turning Point. Now let's get back to Mrs. Farmer, Candace Owens, a married woman. Okay, here we go.
You want to know who I was on the phone with? 911, obviously. I was freaking out. I called 911. I didn't know what I was doing. Here's my phone. Here's my whole call log for that day. But this is, I don't know. I guess we live in a world where that doesn't make sense. I would have issued a statement to dispel any rumors, but they have not. Here's what I want to say, and I honestly, I understand I'm preaching to the choir here. Everything about this is wrong. You know it, and I know it. But I actually know it better than most because I helped build that organization. And that's why I am almost the perfect person to discern what is normal and what is abnormal in terms of what happened at that college campus event. In fact, when I did my tribute to Charlie, this is unbelievable. Remember, just after he died, I posted a video to my friend Charlie Kirk, and I shared a clip of him at a college event, and he and I were laughing, and I'm going to show you that clip in a second. And I said, I don't even know which college this is when I showed the clip because I didn't know what college it was. And unbelievably, it was UVU. I kid you not. Let's rewatch that clip.
If you aren't wealthy, white, and male, Charlie Kirk is not your friend. What do you think?
Not my friend anymore?
Are we not friends?
Is
that right?
Find out. It's not going to find out. A sign outside of a thing, an event that we just did. That you're not my friend.
Go figure.
It is unbelievable that of all the clips we picked that, and I had no idea it was UVU. The point is that I hit college campuses with Charlie Kirk for 6 years. I don't believe that there was a single living, breathing person who has spoken at more college campuses alongside Charlie Kirk than me. So I knew that things were weird when I saw first and foremost, the camera guy, the one who takes down the camera. Seeing him lingering alongside Charlie at the event flagged me as weird immediately. Okay? That's why I reached out when people saw him taking down the camera. I said, what is this? Why are you here? Literally, why are you standing next to I've never at any college event ever in 6 years had that man standing next to me at an event. Okay? Sometimes he wasn't even there. Other times, of course, when you are in AV, your job is to be somewhere quiet. Your job is to have on like headphones to make sure the audio is good. Maybe the idea that they're miking, the person running a company is miking you up is completely absurd. I didn't like it. It felt new to me. And you know what? When I called him, things got pretty weird. He acknowledged that a lot of new stuff was happening on that day. And I inquired to him immediately about the subtle changes that I recognized. And the thing that struck me as wrong was that he lied to me. I don't know why he was lying to me, but a lot of the things that he said didn't make sense. And I'm going to speak more thoroughly about what it was that he said, because obviously I recorded the phone call. I, of course, asked him why he took down the cameras so quickly. I asked him to first and
So she just said that in passing, okay? She called that gentleman, I don't know who it is, and she said that she recorded that conversation, okay? So, to my knowledge, on Texas, you can record a phone conversation without, it's one-party consent. So you cannot, you can just record anybody. You don't even have to tell them that you're recording. But most states, if you're recording a phone conversation, you are supposed to notify the person that you're recording the phone call. So whether maybe Candace notified the person that she's recording the message, I don't know. But I find it weird for her to come out on her program to say she recorded that conversation. Let's not forget, guys, okay? Need I remind you, Candace Owens left Turning Point in 2018, okay? It must have been 2019, 2018. That's when she left. So from that time, before she was married, before Charlie Kirk was married, to 2025, they never made any changes. Everything was exactly as Candace Owens left it at Turning Point USA. It was exactly as Candace Owens left it. Huh? How many things have changed at your company since you started working there? A little bit here, a little bit there, right? But Candace Owens, she finds those changes strange. You were not part of the organization. You don't know why they implemented those things. It might be strange to you, but was it strange to them? And let's grant what she's saying. Yes, everything that happened that day was strange. Does that prove that the strange things is what did that to Charlie Kirk. It's turning point. Honestly, if these are the people, right? They're turning point. They work for Charlie Kirk. Why would they want to go and do these things at Utah? They're with him every day at the office. They know where he lives, all that. Why can't they just do it at his office? They can just walk in the office and be like, oh, Charlie's gone. He had a heart attack, whatever. He was poisoned, you name it. Why did they have to do it publicly in a place like that? You know, I've watched way too many movies. To me, that doesn't jive. So, but she wants us to believe that, something fishy is going on. Okay? So I'm all for that issue. Okay? If there's something, like, yes, the narrative, whatever, let's question it. So, but if you're going to bring those things at the bare minimum, bring some evidence or something where you'll be like, I agree with you on that one. That doesn't make any sense, Candace. I can agree. You know what I mean? But so far, everything that we have seen, to me, with what she's saying, like, what are you saying, Candace? What are you saying? So far, nothing. If you guys, there's a point you can grant to her, I want to hear it, okay? But let's see what's happening with this gentleman, okay? Here we go.
And foremost, simply show me the footage, because that's all I want to do. I'm thinking again, we're all going to get the band back together and solve this murder. And it got weird. It got really weird. I said, I just want to see the footage so I can debunk. I know that you don't want to put more footage out there. That's fine. But just show me the footage so I can debunk all these internet conspiracies that you were hiding something. I was not suspicious of Turning Point at all, actually, when I called. And I asked him again, what's the reason? What's the reason for taking down the cameras quickly? Why hasn't the footage been released? Let me see it. And he told me that he had spoken only to Erica and the feds that he had regarding the footage, that is. He specifically told me that, as I said earlier, that he had secured that footage because he wanted to prevent Erica, as I told you, from having to relive that moment. And that made entirely no sense to me. I told you guys, because we all can watch Charlie Kirk be murdered over and over and over and over and over again. So how are you sparing any emotions here by taking down the back footage? And then it made even less sense to me and appeared to me as a lie once I saw the footage on FaceTime, when I realized that there was no blood on Charlie. So it was the least traumatizing footage of all. Why be so secretive about it? He then told me that he needed to speak with Turning Point lawyers first to see about releasing the footage. I said, okay, fine. I let him take a couple of days off, and then we got back on the phone. And I said, look, that's kind of a BS excuse too, because you run your own company and the footage is owned by you. He then said, okay, yeah, I do own the footage. I just wanted to, just coordinate, check, whatever. Okay. Kind of a lie number 2-ish. Then he said something that really bothered me. He said, I don't know how to send the footage. The file was too large. Oh, I was born yesterday. So you run an entire AV company and you don't know how to send footage. That didn't smell right to me. It got even more bizarre. He told me, and this is when I was extremely uncomfortable. He said, after I offered, you can just use WeTransfer. He said, I don't want to just send the footage over the internet that's behind Charlie's head because I'm worried that Google might hack me. I swear, on everything I love, that's what he told me. He was afraid that Google was going to hack him. So at this moment, I got a little bit, I looked at.
I think at that point, to be honest, the guy just didn't want to send the files to Candace Owens. Okay? He was just making excuses just to, he just didn't want to say, no, I don't want to send it to you. And he was just, giving Candace Owens a runaround. But, I think how you deal with Candace Owens is yes and no. You don't want to be doing all these other things because she will create something out of nothing, is what I'm saying. But let's see how.
At my team, I started snapping across the table and I was like, I said to them, literally, guilty of something. I don't know. This is weird. What a stupid lie. I mean, what do you mean? So I said to him, let's just pretend that does happen. For whatever reason, Sergey Brin is sitting around and he's going, I want to hack this person because I want to see footage behind Charlie's head. Does it. Whatever. And then he gives the footage to Fox News, CNN, and they play it. And what happens after that? I said to him, I know what happens after. We all get to see Charlie Kirk die from a different angle. We've seen it die from 1,000 different angles. What is actually changing if Google hacks you? Weird. A weird thing to say. I also asked him who he was on the phone with after Charlie got shot. And he told me, and I kid you not, he was on the phone with the ops that were back in Arizona watching. And I said, what ops? We don't have people back in Arizona watching when we do college campus events. Is that something new? He said, yes, it is new. In fact, this was the first time we were doing it. He said there were two ops that were watching it back in Arizona. And he told me that the reason that they were doing it was because, Candace, he said, Charlie, he was so ambitious and it wasn't fast enough that it was all being live streamed. He wanted people to live cut the clips so that they could be the first people to get it on the internet. He's like, not even a second to be wasted. So live streaming so everybody can watch, but they were racing some people to get the clips out faster than anybody else because Charlie's ambitious. Now, I got a little suspicious, and he could sense that I was now growing increasingly suspicious with every random thing that he was saying. He sent me a video that I didn't ask for. I wanted to see the footage. He then sent me a video, and I guess this was supposed to work as some sort of an alibi. I don't know if he thought that he shot Charlie. I certainly did not think that he was involved in pulling a trigger and killing Charlie Kirk. I actually don't know why this video, I don't know what this video could have done that he sent me other than to make me feel even more uncomfortable. Because the video he sent me is quite shocking. It's also the reason that I knew that Tyler Boyer was lying when he tweeted that this guy was commanded by the police to take down the cameras. He's lying because I have every minute of what this guy was doing, thanks to him having sent it to me, okay? Every minute of what he was doing before he took those cameras down. And there are only 4 minutes, by the way, before he takes those cameras down. So he's next to, and he is in front of Mikey McCoy when Charlie gets shot. Now, to his credit, he actually did see Charlie get shot. He saw in like a split second, sees Charlie bleeding and runs, and doesn't run very far. He just runs a couple of yards away. Now, I should mention that the camera guy, he too was also brought into the company by Tyler Boyer, okay? And if you...
So it's not a coincidence, the names that she's dropping here. All those people are suspects as far as Candace Owens is concerned, okay? So Tyler Boyer, Mike McCoy, Rob McCoy, and this gentleman over here. Because, Tyler Boyer is one of the top guys right now at Turning Point USA. So pretty much everybody right now who has a position at Turning Point, you are a suspect. And Candace Owens has said something about something or the other about those people. So in her mind, everybody else at Turning Point should go, and Candace Owens should come in and take over and bring her own people, is what I'm hearing. So, we got a super chat. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Oprah. Good to see you. Thank you for the super chat. Okay? I mean, hey, stuff is going someplace else. Okay. All right, guys, let's hear her. Okay, here we go.
You have worked with Charlie for this long, over a decade, and you watch Charlie Kirk get shot. What do you do? What would you do? I'm asking you this question. What would you do? I say two things that are pretty commonplace, right? You choose between fight or flight. You run towards him or you run away, and you run away far because you don't know what's happening. Is it one shot? Are there multiple people? Are you being pursued? There's no way to process that. If you are going to be in flight, you should be sprinting and maybe calling 911. That's what I would have done if I wanted to run away and not towards Charlie to make sure he's okay. But this second close friend of Charlie chose to run just a few yards away up to a grassy knoll to take out his phone. A couple of seconds later, he takes out his phone and he begins recording himself. The selfie video. Takes a video of himself. So let's watch that video.
They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. He's dead. God help him.
That's the first time it was announced, actually, that Charlie Kirk was dead. It's kind of weird. Go ahead, catch your breath, hit rewind, watch it again, watch it over and over again like I did, because you're probably thinking out loud, what the F did I just watch? What's going on? What were Charlie's closest friends and allies and the people that were going to carry on the torch doing? Picking up phone calls they were already on, and filming themselves and prematurely announcing when not a single person could have known that Charlie Kirk is dead. Less than a minute. Declared.
Okay, so when you look at that footage, okay, you could actually see that they ran to, there's people carrying Charlie to the car, okay? They ran to the car, they're getting in the SUV, everybody's running there. And then that guy is on the phone, okay, saying, they just did this to Charlie Kirk. God help him. He's on his phone. He's doing selfie, but there's people running with Charlie Kirk to the car. Okay, so when I don't recommend you guys to watch the video. Okay, I watched the video because this thing was happening, right? I watched the video. There was one that was from the far. Then I actually watched the close up one. Even for me, when I saw that, I was just like, no. Like, to me, when I saw that, I was just like, you know what? I think he's gone. Okay. But the word was, oh, they've rushed him to the hospital and he made it to the hospital. He was still alive and everything. These were the news that were happening in real time. But for me personally, when I watched that, I was just like, no. Because from the time that happened to transport him to get to their destination, they didn't even wait the ambulance. Even if he wasn't dead at that particular time, to me, by the time he made to the car and everything, I think he was gone. But be that as it may, right? This guy was on the phone, that's true. Unfortunately, to be honest, this is the culture that we are in. When something happens, most people, they rush to their phones. They want to film. They want to go viral. It's actually a very bad behavior. It's wrong. We shouldn't be doing those things. We should not be doing those things. Like, your first instinct should not be, let me grab the phone so I can film, so I can do things. Your first instinct should be, how can I help? You know what I'm saying? Or how can I run to safety or something? But this, the TikTok generation and everything, the selfie generation is always rushing to the phone first. So, do I find it weird that this guy was filming, was doing those things? No, I don't find it weird because this thing is very common. Okay. So, like, for example, if you watch the bus, that young lady from Ukraine, right? When something happened to her, people were just sitting there. Okay. It happened so quick, so fast. It was almost like they didn't care when you're watching it. But it happened so quick and so fast, and nobody knew what was happening, right? But our eyes, we are watching like, why don't you guys do something about it? You know what I mean? So those are the things that I do see. Yes. To be honest, this guy being on the phone, this one is your friend and everything else. You're on the phone, you're doing whatsoever. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. It is absolutely a bad look. No two ways about it. Okay? Yeah. So now, just because he was on the phone, he's saying all those things, does that mean that he had something to do with what happened to Charlie Kirk? If so, what is the evidence? Him just being on the phone, him doing himself, him filming himself is not evidence to indict him that he had something to do with what happened to Charlie Kirk. We need more than that. What he did, that wasn't a good look. Okay? That was not a good look. That should be like, okay, people who were there just event goers. Okay? But if you were one of his close friends, you are in there whatsoever, like, what are you doing? Filming yourself. Okay? You should be out there chasing that car. Okay? Following that car wherever it's going. Following that car wherever else it's going. Or see what else can you do, what else is needed. Things of that nature. I do grant, yes, things are happening, everybody's rushing, everybody's in panic mode. Yes, that's absolutely true. But for you, at that moment, in that situation, you are on the phone and you're filming yourself. Eesh, I'm sorry. It wasn't a good look. To me, that wasn't a good look. It still does not prove that, he had something to do with it. But this is ammunition for somebody like Lady Candace. But what do you guys think that guy's situation? Okay, what's your take? You know, he said they just. I think he did say that. I think he did say he's dead. He did say that they just shot Charlie. I think didn't he say? I thought I heard that he's dead. You know, but either way, him being on the phone on the selfie, it's not a good look. Okay, however, I do also grant that right now, when things happen, what do people do? They actually rush to their phones before they help. This is not the first incident that has happened where people rush to their phones. I'm seeing that more and more. People do go to their phones. Yeah, that culture with yes, it's the phone. Like when the things happen, it's the phone first. No, like it helps somebody, you know? Help somebody. Like, why are you rushing to your phone? You know, like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You don't have to go viral. You don't have that. What matters, like, what if the seconds that you were busy on the selfie, that could have helped somebody else, saved someone else's life or something, you know? Yeah. Yes. What he did was dumb. What he did was stupid there, you know? Yeah. It was stupid. It's still, even if I was in a jury, I'm in a jury box, and then we're deliberating, and that guy is a suspect, I'm not going to indict that person like, oh, yes, he did it. Why? Oh, he was on the selfie. No. You know what I mean? That's not enough evidence to do for anything really, apart from him just looking, you know, like you're chasing for a viral moment. So to me, that wasn't good on his part. So the list is going long and long. Okay, she is accusing people left and right. So the next person that Candace Owens did accuse before was Frank Turek. Frank Turek was at this function. He was the one who, he was, doing something with his hat. Okay, but Frank Turek was a mentor to Charlie Kirk. He also spoke at the memorial. But Candace Owens said, like, no, Frank Turek, it does not sit well with Candace Owens. Okay, so somebody asked Frank Turek a question, and this is how he responded. Okay, so this is Frank Turek is clapping back big time to Candace Owens. Okay, he's not having it. He's done playing nice with Mrs. Farmer. So this is what Frank Turek said straight to Candace Owens. Okay, so take a listen.
It sucks too, because you listen to people like Candace Owens, like right now with her conspiracy theories and stuff, and like, I don't know, man, I'm getting more and more thinking the best thing that could happen to humanity is the internet could go down.
Yeah, as soon as we lose Wi-Fi, we're all upset, but that might be the best thing that happens to us. By the way, I haven't followed a lot of what Candace Owens has done, but I will say what I have seen, there's a difference between a possibility and evidence for a possibility. You can speculate on anything you want, but unless you have evidence, shut up. Okay, because all you're doing is causing dissension among the brothers, which is something the Lord hates. If you want to present a possibility and say, well, this could be true, okay, it could be true, but don't accuse people for doing something for which you have no evidence. I heard today, I guess I hadn't seen it myself, but I heard today she was judging people who didn't act the right way. I don't know if anyone, did anyone seen this video? She, according to Candace Owens, these people did not act the right way after Charlie's death. Like my friend Mikey McCoy, the brilliant 24-year-old, who at the time when Charlie was shot was 23 and was a hero that day. He apparently didn't act the right way, according to Candace Owens. He didn't act normal. Newsflash, there is no normal when you're in shock. There is no normal when an abnormal thing happens. Some people are going to act one way, other people are going to act another way. You don't know how you would react. I didn't know how I would react. The only reason that I did what I did is because I thought about it beforehand. I was afraid somebody would take a shot at Charlie, and I thought to myself, if it does happen, what am I going to do? Decide now. And what I wanted to do was do anything I could to save him. In that sense, if it had to happen, I was glad I was there, because now I know there's nothing I could have done. Nobody could have done anything. He was gone already. We learned that later when we got, looking at him, I thought he was gone, but it was verified when we got to the hospital. But don't say that because I'm observing, psychologists know you can't even get in somebody's head when they're on the couch. And yet you're going to judge people on video from afar? Save it. You're adding pain to people who had enough pain. Next time I'll tell you what I really think.
There you have it, Candace Owens. According to Frank Turek, shut up. Yes. So Frank Turek was there and he was in the Navy, okay? He served in the military. So, he was there. So like what I said, like when you saw that, to me, I was in the same thing. But of course, you cannot pronounce somebody dead. The hospital has to do that, right? They are the ones who do pronounce somebody dead. So yeah, but they were there, guess, help carry him, go to the car and all that. He was actually there at the event. So even the people that she's out here accusing, no. And now because he was in the military, he was in the Navy, guess what? Candace Owens is now what? Switching gears, even implicating Frank Turek again with no evidence, just speculation. So that's the danger that she's doing. Absolutely. She's doing way too much. That's why I'm like, you know what? Mr. Farmer, where are you? Where are you? Come get your girl. All right, guys. Well, she is not done. So let's listen some more to what she has to say. So remember, once again, this is an investigation. Candace Owens is investigating, is bringing you evidence as to what happened to Charlie, who did this to Charlie Kirk. Because according to Candace Owens, it's not Tara Robinson, okay? So to me, she's even better off to be, okay, this is Tara Robinson, okay? Tara Robinson did not act alone. This man has never done this before. This is the first time. No social media, no nothing. There were other people he was working with. So these are the people who helped him. You know what I mean? If Candace Owens says things like that, it would be like, okay, this is interesting. You know what I mean? Because how did this do alone? Oh, it's this person. But the people he is accusing, they are right there involved with Turning Point. So what is the connection with those people to Tara Robinson? That's the connection that she needs to be bringing. If she'll be like, oh, and guess what? Tara Robinson was speaking on the phone with Frank Turek. Oh, Tara Robinson was seen with Frank Turek 2 days before, whatever the case may be. But this is not what she's giving us. So anyway, I'm so glad that you guys are here. Let's listen some more, okay? I don't know if you're... I've lost count as to what rabbit hole we are in right now. But, we continue. Here we go.
You're dead. No instinct to run towards him. No instinct to run further away, maybe because you got to backtrack and go get the cameras a minute after this ends is when he goes and gets the cameras, okay? Rather, let me record me and my reaction, which doesn't actually feel to me to be too distraught, okay? In fact, if this is one of those videos that made me so upset that I was like mad at other people, like I was like mad at Savannah. I saw Mikey McCoy's reaction. Now I'm looking at this guy's reaction. I'm like, Savannah, like one of the homies. I get assassinated. You film yourself. I get assassinated. You're talking about my succession plan. A couple of days later, I get assassinated. You're lying about little things about me. Everything Turning Point is doing is wrong. And you know it's wrong. You know it's wrong deep down. I want to say this because there has been a lot of reading in between the lines. It's strange to me. I think I'm a very direct person. I say what I mean. And I do not want people to mistake what's happening right now or to wrongly assume my intentions here. So allow me to be very explicit, okay? I want war with all of you, okay? All of you. And there's a reason. I'm going to get to that reason in a little bit, but I want war with all of you. So write your articles, issue your statements, email the White House, reach out for comment, okay? Say whatever it is you want to say about me. I want war with all of you. Because I know this isn't right. And there's no way you are going to convince me and the rest of the world that all of this is normal. We're not just going to keep on going and jump into a succession plan. We're going to figure out what the hell happened on September 10th first. And I'm going to tell you guys that Charlie had a vision. We'll get to that after a few ads. All right, you guys, taking a quick break.
Yes, so there you have it. Like, Charlie had a vision. She's not happy with the succession plan. So, yeah, they actually did announce that Charlie Kirk will take over. Was it 2 or 3 days afterwards? Guys, there is nothing Candace Owens can do about it. There's nothing she can do about this. Okay? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I think it's now clicking to her that she has lost, and she has lost badly. This is a woman who is jealous of Erica Kirk. Because like what she wishes this was her. Because she's looking at it, I was there at the beginning of Turning Point. Erica Kirk, you're just here enjoying the things that I had already done. That's it. So now it's like, because Erica Kirk had the world behind her, the entire attention, going to the White House, the entire cabinet was there. Erica this, Erica that, everybody supporting her, everybody was there. Candace Owens was nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen, not even a single picture of Candace Owens at the memorial. People are just moving on as if she doesn't exist at all. So now she has to drag everybody back into 2018 when she was single, when Charlie Kirk was single. You know, even if there was a relationship between Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, he married somebody else. You are married to somebody else. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. If she's so bitter, she is so angry. These are the things that she can just be talking behind the scenes with her girlfriends. That's it. But for her to come out publicly to be doing these things about somebody else's husband, oh my gosh. I can tell you, no woman will be doing this about my husband, okay? None whatsoever. So to me, I just like, no. She wants war, declaring war on who? On Erica Kirk. No. Like, what does she want? Erica Kirk to produce the will that Candace Owens' name is not on Charlie Kirk's will. It's other people, and it's not Candace Owens. Is that what she wants? What is she going to do, guys? If she has an issue with Turning Point, go and sue Turning Point. Go and sue them that you are the right heir for Turning Point, not Erica Kirk. Go and sue. Let's see how is that going to work out for you. Oh man, this lady is so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing to me. She is so bitter. She's so angry. The investigation, it's the state of Utah versus Tyra Robinson. It's not going to be Erica Kirk versus Tyra Robinson. This is a federal crime and a state crime. Nothing Turning Point can do. All they can do, they want evidence, they want this. That's all they can do. That's it. If they have a suspect in there who was in cahoots with Tyra Robinson, if there was something, they need to bring that to the authorities. They're not going to bring in that to Candace Owens. And if Candace Owens has evidence, I repeat, if she has evidence implicating anybody, including Erica Kirk, then Candace Owens needs to produce that. She needs to produce that Erica Kirk is implicated. We know, if you've watched all these Law and Crime, yes, wives kill their husbands all the time. Those things happen. If she has that evidence, she needs to produce. I'll be out here calling out Erica Kirk myself out here. But so far, there is nothing, guys. Unless if I'm missing something. What is the evidence that's tying Erica Kirk to deleting her husband, Charlie Kirk? Can we see that evidence, please? Oh my goodness. This woman. Oh my gosh, man. Candace Owens. No, this is too much. What are you guys saying? I know I've been all over here. Okay? And the fruits of Catholicism, I mean, at this point, oh no. Is this what it is about? Oh no, you need to run. And then she says she wants war. Yes, that's what she wants. She just declared war on who? She's not happy that they have a succession plan. No, she's not happy that she is not included in the succession plan. Just like what she said, she thought she was going to be one of the people in the text messages, and she wasn't. That's it. She's just jealous about this whole thing. Okay? So now somebody else is singing a different tune. Okay? Megyn Kelly. So Megyn Kelly was acting like she's just going to walk away from this issue, skate around the issue, not comment, not do anything else. But people have been asking her, what is your comment and everything? And she just kept saying, oh, give Candace Owens a break. She just had a baby. All this. No, she's an adult. She's an adult woman. Okay? There's no excuse to what she's doing. You cannot be condoning bad behavior. simply because, quote unquote, somebody has a baby, quote unquote, no, okay? You need to call it out. They call out everything else, but they are so silent when it comes to Candace Owens. Why? It's double standard, okay? It's double standard. If something is wrong, you need to call it out. It doesn't matter. It's inside the camp or it's outside the camp. So finally, she said something over here, but the way she has handled the Candace Owens situation, it's very disappointing. And by the way, Meghan Kelly and Candace Owens, they didn't like each other in any way, shape, or form. But in this situation, like, okay, she's saying something about Israel. I'm just going to pretend like I didn't hear what she said. So watch how Meghan Kelly responded when somebody asked her about Candace Owens. Okay? Here we go.
About the Candace Owens of it all. Okay. I love her, and I really do feel like there's potentially truth to what she's saying. What do you think? Is there something nefarious going on?
Are you talking about Charlie's murder? So I don't listen to Candace's show, but I am 100% convinced that Charlie was killed by Tyler Robinson, a crazed leftist who murdered him because he didn't like Charlie's messaging on the trans issue. That is my firm belief after having talked to the people at Turning Point, the FBI, the security team that was on the ground, and many others. And I've come to that with a good faith basis, and I have nothing that would shake me from it. I don't begrudge anybody asking questions, and I understand the controversy around where she's gone with it. But I think it's really kind of a matter of your preference for your broadcaster. And, you know, Candace is many, many people's cup of tea, and she's not other people's, and I'm the same. And I haven't responded well to people demanding that I try to police her speech.
No, nobody's demanding you, Meghan Kelly, to police Candace Owens' speech. No, that's not the point. And then, how come Meghan Kelly has not said what she's saying in this on her program? You shouldn't police Candace Owens. She's free to say whatever else she wants to say. Freedom of speech. But this idea of like, oh, she can just do whatever else she wants to do, say whatever. She is accusing people, different people. This is not good. Remember, we already did a video, right? Somebody tried to go after the CEO of Babylon Bee, okay? He called the police. The person was arrested. Why do you think the person is doing that? So these accusations are just not just in midair. There is people who are able and willing to act on them. And when people who big platform like Meghan Kelly decide just to ignore, to keep quiet, it sends a message. And these have to be like, oh, I don't listen to Candace Owens, like she doesn't know what Candace Owens is saying. Like, come on, she's a journalist. She knows. So, but you know, this is how they no. It's not about you policing. Candace Owens is free, whatever. She can say whatever she wants to say. Right now, we're just critiquing. She has a platform. She has an audience. She has a responsibility. Where's the responsibility? There is people right now, they don't go to their pastors, okay? They go to Candace Owens because they cannot trust their pastor. They are hanging to every single word that Candace Owens is putting out there. Because there's people like that. Critical thinking, believe you me, most people don't think critically. She says one thing because she has a big platform, and she says it's so articulate, it sounds so good. People are drinking that. They're believing that. It's not good. It's dangerous. It's not like she's just, making fun or jokes and everything. No, this is serious. And there's a forensic expert actually said, like, oh, she believes what she is saying. Candace believes what she's saying. I actually do believe that she believes what she is saying. And that's very dangerous. That's very dangerous. It's not like what she's saying does not affect people. It does affect people. All these people who are being accused, all these people who are being implicated, you think it's just life is just peaches and cream for them? You know, it's not. They're coming. I mean, I'll be like, oh, you've taken money from Israel. Like, I have taken money from Israel. Can you believe that? I have received $7,000. I'm a small fish. So can you imagine the other people? So no, what she's doing has consequences, and it's not good. So the idea of like, oh, we're just gonna ignore it, it's not good. Okay. So like we are saying out here, guys. Okay, we are questioning, Mr. Farmer, where are you? So let's hear George Farmer in his own words. Okay, who exactly he married. So take a look at this. This is Mr. and Mrs. Farmer. Okay? Watch this. Here we go.
What is the most difficult part about being married to Candace Owens?
How long have we got? Well, I like to joke with you, and you know that I tell you this joke. So really, this is just for the audience, but I like to joke that there are many different women I'm married to because I'm never quite sure who I'm going to get in one day. So it's like someday I'm going to get one personality, and the next day it's this personality, and then you've got your investigative journalist hat on, and then you've got your mother's hat on, and then you've got your Catholic hat on. So there's a few hats that you're wearing at any one point in time. So it's always fun. I wouldn't say that's difficult. It's really just a joy of who you are as a person.
You're being kind. It's also been a tremendous challenge. And I think personally to you, because you're so different from the environment that you're now stuck into, which is to say, you are an Englishman. You like to retreat, sort of read your texts, a quiet place with a cigar.
Yes. So this is George Farmer. He's joking, but he's not joking, guys. Okay? He has no idea if he's going to get Candace Owens, the investigator, the mother, or the real Candace Owens. Okay? So these are three different personalities that Candace Owens is representing. Okay? So, guys, every person has a personality. Okay? So if you're married, you know your husband or you know your wife. Okay? You know what they like, you know whatever they don't like and everything. It comes with the territory and everything, right? That's who you are. So, but the idea of you have no clue if today it's going to be an investigator. So then how do you deal with that? Tomorrow it's going to be like a mom, you know, and then it's going to be like, that's so weird, okay? No, she's your wife, okay? One personality, okay? Like, you know, she's going to relate to her children differently because that's a different type of love that she's going to give to her kids, different love she's going to give to her husband. But I'm like, okay, what's happening there? Like, okay. But anyway, this is making sense right now. So to me, I'm like, okay, so Mr. Farmer. So now it looks like you've added a fourth personality because this is beyond the investigative personality, okay? The conspiracy theory to it. But do not be alarmed. It looks like, you know, Candace, she is getting this issue that people are asking as it relates to the husband situation. So she has been dropping George Farmer here and there because everybody's wondering all these other things. It's time for George Farmer to rein in his wife. So this is what, listen to this, okay? This is from Candace. So we get the picture because everybody, I'm also wondering. I'm like, wait a minute, George, are you aware of what's happening out here? So this helps out, okay? Watch this. Here we go.
Mentioned, by the way, that you can buy this at makehimasandwich.com. Makehimasandwich.com if you want to know where to get that book. And yes, it also helps the Catholic book printer that worked with us on this, and they were, like I said, phenomenal. John Diamond writes, Candace, welcome back. We missed you, of course. I know you're catching up on current events. Let me summarize. Everything is still fake and gay. Please give your husband and kids a huge hug from all of us. They are the ones who support you every day. Thank God for them. They are amazing, and it is because of my family that I genuinely, like, I know that I was saved because I had the confidence to be more of myself when I married George. And he has supported me through everything, and me never having the fashionable opinion. And of course, it impacts as a knock-on effect with the world that he knew. I mean, my husband, think about this. My husband used to work with, and we used to donate to, like, the Friends of Israel when he was in the UK, and he married me. And so, yeah, I mean, I would say I was pro-Israel when we met, but life has changed dramatically, and he has been there and has always supported me. Stuart Dillian writes,
yep. So there you have it. Okay, so Mr. Farmer stands by Mrs. Farmer. He's supporting everything. So now we can put that to rest. According to her, he's behind all this. He's fine with it. But I'm like, wait a minute. He is an Englishman, okay? I'm like, George Farmer, I'm sorry, you've lost your English card, okay? Because Englishmen are known to be like, you know, gentlemen. They like, you know, sophisticated things. They want, you know, philosophy, things of that nature, right? But what your wife is doing is something else. It does not jive with being an Englishman. So at this point, I'm like, okay, what's happening in there? Because to me, what she's doing, honestly, is just like, no. Candace Owens is undermining George Farmer's leadership. that you can actually see it. We don't have to be inside their house, guys, okay? She is out here putting out these text messages about someone else's husband. That happened in 2018, okay? Before she got married. So Candace got married in 2019. Charlie Kirk got married in 2020, okay? So I think this was also during the time. It didn't take long after, because it was Turning Point, PragerU, and then Daily Wire. Okay, that's how it happened. So she got married when she was at Daily Wire. So yeah, in 2019, that's when she got married. So now in 2025, you're going back to text messages about someone else's husband in 2018. What is George Farmer saying about it? So according to this, George Farmer stands by all it. George Farmer supports this. He defends this. He's fine with it. Like, no. To me, I'm like, okay, so clearly, Candace Owens, she's in charge. She's in charge. There's just no two ways about it. George Farmer lost his English card. Okay? English gentleman is gone. Okay? No way you could have your woman doing what she's doing out here. So no, that's not all. She's going to now Candace Owens is doubling down. Okay? So watch this. Here we go.
Prophecy that you will lead this movement to victory will empower you even more. Thank you for that. Pixie Chicky writes, Candace, you are a class act. You are fighting for Charlie just like he asked you. Quoting Maya Angelou, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. You have done that and more to bring truth to light. Charlie would be so proud. I know he's proud. I absolutely know that Charlie is proud and that everything that we discussed, I hate that he was right about his life, but I also know that I'm the right person to do this because I came through that matrix and I know what's up and what's down. Like, they just can't fool me with this stuff. You've done it to me so many times and I survived it, and you can't do the thing that you always do, which is try to convince the world the person is crazy, because I'm not giving them that. You did it with Kanye. You put him on a Psych 5150 hold. You did it to many people in Hollywood. I know how it works, and I'm teaching people to learn about your psychological operation, which is what it is. Sarah writes, go girl.
So Candace Owens is the rightful person to do this. Not Erika Kirk. Nobody else. Not Charlie Kirk's sister, or the parents, or the aunts, or the uncles, but Mrs. Farmer. She's the rightful person. And Charlie Kirk is so proud of Candace Owens. And Charlie Kirk is not proud of Erika Kirk. Charlie Kirk is not proud for his family, but he's proud with Candace Owens, someone else's husband. Like, does that make sense to you guys? Huh? And to me, I'm thinking like, George, what are you thinking? So she's out here growing, speaking highly of someone else's husband. And someone else's husband is so proud of your wife. And you're okay with it? And your wife is out here fighting, carrying water for someone else's husband. Oh, man. Guys, do you know how weird this is? This is so weird. I can't even... Hey, all right, guys. Let's get back to Candace Owens, because she's not done, guys. Okay, she's going back to where she's going to show us the text messages that took place in 2018. Okay, so it's going to be the big story. Okay, let's continue, guys. I am so glad that you guys are here. Thank you for being here. We continue. Here we go.
Candace. Now it's time to share private messages. You know what's so funny to me is, I don't know, I feel like they are now steeped in psychology for toddlers. It's so obvious what's coming down the pipeline that thinks, oh, it's not appropriate to share private messages unless we do it. Plus, we're up on stage talking about private conversations and making stuff up that definitely didn't happen. I think it was actually Pastor McCoy's speech. Charlie wanted me to lead the next movement. Charlie told me I'm America's pastor, he said. Yeah, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he called you America's pastor. And so, yeah, I will be doing whatever I want to do until the truth is told about what happened on 9/10. We should start with Josh Hammer, by the way, because he really has now become the king of defying no stereotypes. Where we last left off, obviously, he is now infamous for just being such a deceitful little creature. The text message exchange, Josh Hammer caught, hand in the cookie jar. I'm talking way in the cookie jar. No other way to say it, right? Charlie gets killed. He, on the same day, starts pushing his book. Charlie's last words were, buy my book, buy Josh Hammer's book. The night before, he never even flinched on Israel. He loved Israel so much. And then I just waited because we're fishing now. And I knew they would do this. I knew liars have to lie fast and first. And he did. He lied. He lied over and over and over again about his position on Israel. And when he got caught, you would think that he would have a shred of decency. You would think he would have a shred of humility. You would think he would apologize for lying about Charlie's position on Israel. But he didn't. He just sort of doubled down. He sort of Israeled down, if you will. And it sort of gave me an idea for a little miniseries, a little recurring miniseries that we'll probably have on this show. An HBO miniseries, by the way, executively produced by me. I want to show it to you guys now. It's a trailer.
Okay, so before we see the trailer. So this is back to Josh Hammer, okay? But did Candace Owens correct the record when she accused the Prime Minister of lying about receiving a letter from Charlie Kirk? No. What happened? The Prime Minister made the letter public. Did Candace Owens walk that back? No. She just carried on as if nothing happened. And the contents of the letter are actually there. Okay? He did critique Israel for sure, but he also offered support for Israel. So she is just so bitter that she doesn't like Josh Hammer, and then Josh Hammer was one of the last people who communicated with Charlie Kirk. Rob McCoy was also one of the last people who communicated with Charlie Kirk. It was not Candace Owens. Okay? So even if this is what she always, Charlie Kirk changed his position on Israel, even if you grant that he changed his position on Israel, Charlie Kirk never lived to fulfill that he had changed his position on Israel. Up until he died, everything about Charlie Kirk was pro-Israel. If he didn't die that day, would he have changed his mind? Who knows? Maybe he would have, maybe he wouldn't have not. But there is no evidence that he had backtracked on Israel. So, but Candace Owens wants us to believe that, Charlie Kirk changed his mind on Israel. Yeah, the text message was 24 hours before he was gone. So where is that evidence? It's nowhere to be found. So let's watch the trailer, whatever else is making on Josh Hammer, okay?
That we put together. I sure hope you guys like it. Take a listen.
How Charlie Kirk was actually feeling about the pressure he was receiving from pro-Israel Zionist donors to Turning Point USA.
Charlie definitely was not someone who liked to be bullied by donors, as we saw in those text messages.
Their Jewish donors to TPUSA played into the worst stereotypes of Jewish people.
Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this.
A few moments later. I'm talking to lawyers. I think that I'm a lawyer with my background. I clerked for a federal appeals judge. I know a thing or two about United States constitutional law. I think that we have a potentially serious case here for defamation, and I'm very much speaking with lawyers, and we'll see what happens.
Well done, Joshy. Well done. Very good, Joshy. Try your best to curb your Zionism. I know it's hard, but do your best. Too funny. Also, I want to shout out John Miller on X. He made me laugh. I mean, I was really laughing when I saw his tweet about Josh Hammer threatening to sue me. He just wrote this, and it said it all. He said, "They really trying to make us believe this is the good guy." LMAO. I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, he just looks like a Bond supervillain. That's just what he looks like. And by the way, that's a lot of words to say what I always say. Like, we don't know, but we know. And Josh Hammer, yeah, we know. You're not the good guy, okay? You have to believe in your gut. I keep telling about you guys over and over again. Your gut matters more, right? Your subconscious picks up on things before your conscience does. Which brings me to dreams, by the way, because before I went on break, many people were triggered because I discussed on a previous show a dream that I had, a very vivid dream, whereupon Charlie told me that he had been betrayed. And so he's been betrayed. That's it. There's a lot I could say here. If I had known that me discussing my dreams was going to trigger so many people, I would have started every other show like Martin Luther King Jr. I'd be like, I had a dream. And like I said, this one was clear. Charlie told me that he was betrayed. He actually said more than that, actually. But we're fishing, right? So let's be patient. What I want you guys to know about Charlie is he also used to dream very vividly. Because we traveled together so much, he would wake up, we would text, and he would tell me about those vivid dreams. And we talked about a lot of things, as you do when you get to know somebody. We talked about the spiritual realm. We talked about religion, our faith. Most importantly, what our life's purpose was. And there was this period in April where Charlie kept insisting to me over and over again that he was going to die young. In fact, he told me that Turning Point USA was going to be the death of him. And I'm going to allow you to read his words. And it's funny how this came about because when I was in Wyoming, I went outside, I was writing, physically needed to write, to put pen to paper and to pray. And I was sitting in the sun overlooking the mountains. And right when I concluded my prayer, I opened my eyes and I saw a massive bald eagle. And it just made me feel at peace. It's one of those moments where you just are in nature, you see something beautiful, and it makes you feel at peace. And then I felt the need to start going through messages and conversations between me and Charlie. And sure enough, I stumbled upon.
Okay, so she went on vacation with her husband, with her family. But on this vacation, instead of her enjoying Mr. Farmer, George Farmer, this is so unbelievable, guys. You cannot make this stuff up, okay? But she took that time, okay, to enjoy. I guess, am I wrong, guys? You tell me. Because to me, I'm like, okay, so you went to Wyoming, you took a break to go enjoy yourself, right? With your family, take a break, whatever it is. But this is the time she felt so much peace. Finally, Charlie was looking above, whatever. Who knows how she's taking all these other things, right? Given that's kind of sewing. But she also said that you have to trust your gut. What does the Bible says? You know, the heart is desperately wicked. Who can know it? So, you know, your feelings, right? The people, she used to believe that your feelings don't care about your facts. But now she is. We should go by that. And I don't know why she's tripping about the dreams, because she actually said the dream, you can take that to the bank and you can quote her on it. So now all of a sudden she wants to change the tune as far as the dreams are concerned. She wants us to take a word of a dream as fact. That's not how things work. But let's see how this time enjoying the retreats, okay, with her family, but it's how she find peace with Erica Kirk's husband, Charlie Kirk. Okay, here we go. Candace Owens, Mrs. Farmer.
Upon many messages of him telling me how he would die. I'm going to show you some of those messages now, a particular set of messages that were written on April 6th, 2018, just a couple of weeks before Kanye tweeted, I love the way Candace Owens thinks, which is relevant because a lot of things changed after that tweet. And it's relevant because Charlie sensed that something big was about to happen. And I think that is what the something big was. I also want to say, obviously, I am not making up these messages, okay? Turning point. Actually, Mikey McCoy has access to all of Charlie Kirk's messages. They can tell you that these ones are real. Here is what he wrote. We were again talking about Kanye. Charlie wrote to me, you're going to be the Iron Lady of America. He had such a political vision for me. I never wanted that sort of a thing. I see it so freaking clearly. I might be Moses, though. I might not see this whole thing through. LMAO. If that is the case, be my David. I said, dude, you haven't even realized your power yet. You're so young, is what I was thinking. He said, if I tell you the true prophecy that I know in my gut, it's really sad, but I hope it's wrong. He went on to say, anyway, I am not sure if I will live to see the end of this revolution. I believe you were the piece that God meant me to meet that will finish the fight. Since the beginning of TPUSA, I knew in my gut that I might get wiped out at any time. I cannot explain it, but I dream about it all the time, like all the time. Anyway, that's depressing combo for another time, LMAO.
So, guys, this is not good. Okay? This is not good at all. Why? By the way, this is in 2018. So in 2018, Charlie got married. In 2020, Candace Owens got married in 2019. Okay? So if Charlie Kirk is texting with Candace Owens, he's telling her that, you are the piece that God, meant for me, all that. Why would you be bringing this out now? You have a husband at home. Charlie has a widow over there. And all this happened before both of you were married. How is this text message proving who killed Charlie Kirk? How is this text message helping anything? Please put it in the chat. I might be blind here. How is this pointing to anything? Guys, I don't know anybody who is disputing that Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens used to be good friends back in the day. So my question is, if this Charlie Kirk was your best friend, where are the text messages of between you and Charlie Kirk the night before? On 2025, where are the text messages? Because if you were his friend as the best friend, you would have been in those text messages. And if you have those text messages, why are you showing us 2018 text messages? Why don't you show us 2025 text messages? Huh? This incident happened, what, in September? Where are January 2025 between you and Charlie? Talking about something like this. Where are they? July, where are they? June, where are they? May, where are they? Where are those text messages that you two were talking like this? Why you are a married woman, why he's a married man? Where are those text messages? We need to see those. Because if you're going back, the stuff that used to be texting with homeboy in 2018, come on, guys. Is this what you'd want? So, hey, so this is why I'm like, you know what? She's in charge of her home. Because this is very embarrassing. At the like, how is this text message? How is it helpful? What is it pointing to? I would like to know, because I'm very confused. This to me is very disturbing. Oh my gosh. Oh, when I saw this, I was just like, you know what? No, I don't think Erica is behind this, because that was the only thing, the way this woman went away. Like, there is no way. Like, this is not good. It's very disrespectful. But once again, she wants the attention. She wants you to believe, like, yes, me, you know, like this is her fantasy here. It should have been me and Charlie Kirk as husband and wife, not Erica Kirk. Unbeknownst to her, this is embarrassing for George Farmer. Like George Farmer, the 18 days, are you sure? 4 kids later, it's too late for you now. I know you lost your English card, but this is what you get.
I said, that's weird, more of a fear manifestation than an actualization. He said, I'm not really afraid of it, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true. And he told me that. I don't know why. Charlie knew he was going to die young. And I don't know. I just felt like I needed to share that because it is in part why the moment that Charlie got shot, I just knew he was betrayed spiritually. In the same way that Charlie knew that he was going to die young, I knew that this was a part of something bigger. And so I wanted to say to you guys, to the people that betrayed Charlie.
Before she goes to people who betrayed Charlie. So, Charlie Kirk knew he was going to die young. He put his succession in place because he knew he was going to die young. And then we have Candace Owens, who has an issue about the succession plan. Do you see this? So this guy knew he was going to die young. He set his household in order, but Candace Owens is not happy about that. Why? You see? Like, she is even undermining her own point over here. So the question is, so where was Candace all this time when she was at Daily Wire? How come she never brought this up? If things were not going well at Turning Point USA, why didn't she talk about this when Charlie Kirk was still alive and well? Where are the text messages from Candace Owens to Charlie Kirk, texting Charlie Kirk, hey, by the way, people are stealing money at Turning Point. Oh, by the way, there's people who are trying to betray you at Turning Point. Oh, by the way, I don't like the direction Turning Point where it's going. This, that, and the third. Where are those text messages between Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens? Because Candace Owens is the best friend to Charlie Kirk, and she cared so much about Charlie Kirk and Turning Point. How come she didn't do anything about it when all these things were going on when Charlie Kirk was breathing? Because you cannot tell me all these things, betray, all these things just happened on the day that Charlie Kirk died, right? So which means these things were going on prior to that day. Where was Candace Owens prior to Charlie Kirk's demise? Where is her article? What book has she written chronicling what happened? Where is that information? It does not exist, guys. But she wants us to believe that she was the best friend of Charlie Kirk. She wants us to believe that she's the one who has to take over Turning Point USA. She wants, like, you went to PragerU. After PragerU, you went to Delaware. Why didn't you go back to Turning Point? If you so cared about Turning Point, if you believe in Turning Point, if you believe in Charlie Kirk's dream, now that he's gone, all of a sudden, we have to believe that, oh, now Candace Owens cares so much about Turning Point. Huh? Honestly, where is the letter of Candace Owens requesting to get her job back at Turning Point? Man, she's a joke.
I would recommend that you come clean, okay? I would recommend that you come clean because Charlie said some other things, and I look at these things now and I think, wow, it's almost prophetic, right? It's almost prophecy. And I can tell you that this is a story that will have a happy ending, a tragedy that will have a happy ending. The world is going to learn the truth about this. They are. I would recommend that you come clean. There are lines in the sand that are being drawn right now between good and evil. Many of you have picked the evil side. Do you podcasters, people that make videos, people that are taking money, tell people don't look over there? I would recommend you stop doing that. You don't have to listen to me. You probably won't listen to me. And the people that betrayed Charlie, you probably won't come clean. Likely because you're scared now. You should be scared, but you're the wrong kind of scared, okay? Fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. There is more. This is not it. I'm aware of that. That's why I've chosen to be on the side of goodness and truth, no matter what the cost is. I've picked my side. I don't care about any of you. I can't wait to read your articles after this, okay? That's breakfast for me. That inspires me now. Can't wait to read your loony tweets. I can't wait for you to lie about things that I've said. I cannot wait because you know what? On a hike that Charlie and I were on in Wyoming one time, we were discussing the death penalty. Like he was asking, like, what's your position on the death penalty? And I told him, I've always been against it. And typically that's a theological conversation. Christians go back and forth on it. Do you have a right to take a life? I'm on the side that no, we don't have a right to take a life. But my position on it isn't even entirely theological. I said to Charlie, the reason I'm against it is because death is easy. You're here and then you're not. It's like falling asleep, right? You're here 1 second and then you're not. Think about passing out or fainting. People that commit grave evil and we're giving them death, that's it. Yeah. I always say they deserve more than that. And for people that are involved, and many people that are involved in this, not the lone shooter, at different stages, people that are involved, people that know things, people that are watching this, maybe in an office cubicle and know things. And want you know that if you choose not to come clean, you are about to become very famous. Okay. I am talking like through the ages famous, the kind of fame that most people cannot even comprehend. I cannot comprehend that level of fame. Like I'm talking about the level.
Okay. So where are these people, Candace Owens? Name names. Who are they? Because we also want to know these people. They need to be exposed. We don't want them to do this to somebody else. Because you're out here on the side of truth. So why are you hiding their names? Why are you hiding them? Name names. All you have done, you've just accused a whole bunch of people. So if you know these people, are you going to mention them? Are you going to give their names to the authorities? But because you're conducting this investigation, you don't care about the authorities, then why are you not naming them? Because you are the one who is seeking truth, right? Nobody else is. Only you. So what are you doing about it? Because she's been on this investigation for quite some time. So when is she going to show us the evidence? So she's out here saying people are doing podcasts, they're making money. Guys, this is the most money that Candace Owens has ever made ever since she has her channel. Is covering the Charlie Kirk situation. More than what she made with the Macrons. It was the Macrons and then Charlie Kirk. Right now, the Charlie Kirk has surpassed the Macrons. So she is also making money. Okay? She is also making money. So she shouldn't pretend like she's not making money. But she says that she knows people. She knows names who are in cubicles, who are in office. Why doesn't she name them? Why? Why is she not naming them? Why isn't she producing evidence? Because she can just come out here. You know what? Gender, you are implicated. Because XYZ, XYZ. Why can she do that? So, but we should just sit here. She's sending all these threats, right? Because she is the rightful person who was supposed to take over. Because Charlie Kirk told her in 2018 that she's the Iron Lady. She is the David, okay? David and Jonathan. So I'm like, okay, let's not even go there, okay? So, oh my gosh. So this woman has zero respect of that Charlie Kirk was married. But you see, implicated everybody. So she's doing on purpose, not mentioning Erica Kirk. But no, guys, if you're listening to what she is saying, honestly speaking, who is this going towards to? Who owns Turning Point but Erica Kirk? So
level of fame that can kill a name. You know what I mean? Like nobody names their kid Judas anymore. Nobody names their kid Adolf anymore. I'm talking about that level of fame. Infamy. So I'd come clean. I think there's a way out for you if you come clean and you get with God. Anyways, I'd like to say something in finality to the many of you who would like to shut me up, who have been trying very hard to shut me up. No, I think I'm going to go ahead and be Charlie's David. I'm not going to stop talking about Charlie Kirk's death. In fact, instead of trying to make me shut up, you should do something else. I think your time would be better spent trying to stop the sun from rising. You'd have more success if you spent your time trying to stop the sun from rising than trying to get me to shut up about who killed Charlie Kirk, because he knew he was going to die, and he knew that I was going to be the person that had the spine to stand up for him. What he didn't know, I don't think he knew, was that millions of people around the world who maybe don't have a microphone, okay, who maybe don't have a podcast, who maybe can't write articles for the Daily Mail, are standing by him, are standing on the side of goodness. And we are going to see this thing out. And like I said, there will be justice, not the fake kind, not the Tyler Robinson kind, actual justice. We'll take a brief break here, and then we'll get to some of your comments.
So how is that even possible? Because she got married first before Charlie Kirk did, okay, in 2019. Charlie Kirk got married in 2020. Dated Erica Kirk for 2 years. So Charlie Kirk knew that Candace Owens was going to be the right person, but didn't put a ring on it in 2018 when he was single and when she was single. And then she ended up marrying Farmer in 2019. And Charlie Kirk got married in 2020. So what? Both of them, Farmer and Candace, got married to the wrong people. But those two were supposed to get married because they were right for each other. Do you see where this thing is going? After all, she was the first one who got married. So if she believed that it was going to be Charlie Kirk, why did she marry Farmer in 2019? Why didn't she marry Charlie in 2018? After all, she's the David. Oh, man. Guys, this is so crazy. Because I'm trying to be like, okay, how can we feed this thing? Oh, my gosh, man. Guys, what are you saying over there? Okay. Before I start pulling my hair out. Okay. At daughter Galatians, she has no fear of God, none whatsoever. And she had the nerve, the audacity to bring the name of God to it. Proverbs 31, girl. This is the typical false prophet and narcissism. Yes, you are correct. Yeah? But do you know, like when she's doing these things, okay, the amount of people who are watching her, it'll be 200,000 people in real time supporting her and watching her. So she is influencing a lot of people like you've never seen. This stuff is just not suspended in midair. It has an impact. It's doing something, you know, and it's, this is so bad, okay? I was just like, man, like what exactly do you say, you know? What exactly do you say? To me, the only one who can actually bring a stop to this is George Farmer. Because Erica Kirk, and the minute she opens her mouth, anything concerning Candace Owens, ooh, she shouldn't. I know it's hard. If I were her, oh no, I would have already been going back and forth with her. But the only one who can do that is George Farmer, okay? Because she's quoting scriptures out here. If she believes in the Bible, okay? 1 Peter 3, what is it saying? Likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands. Erica Kirk is the widow to Charlie Kirk. Candace Owens, be subject to George Farmer. That's it. Why are you out here telling us stories about someone else's husband? And I continue. Likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands, so that even if some do not obey the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives when they see your respectful and pure conduct. What is respectful of what Candace Owens is doing? What is so pure about what Candace Owens is doing? What type of conduct is what Candace Owens is doing? This is someone else's wife, guys. At this point, like APB, do we know where George Farmer is? Maybe we're just assuming, but at this point, it's clear. Candace Owens, she's in charge of a household. Okay? She does whatever she wants to do, and George Farmer just say, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. That's it. Because there is no way you can tell me he can support this. There's a way for Candace Owens to do this investigation, to ask questions, but she has crossed the line. She's out here telling us that she's the rightful person. Charlie knew about her. Charlie is the one who wanted Candace Owens to, like, what are we doing? Ish, man, this is crazy. All right, Ephesians 5:22. Wives, submit your own husbands. The scripture is clear, man. Okay? You are under your husband's authority, not someone else's. But this is not what we're saying. Wives, submit your own husband as to the Lord. How can we conclude and see what Candace Owens is doing is submission as to the Lord? I submit to you, it is not. Okay? For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, his body, and is himself its savior. Are we seeing anything over here with everything with the watch resembling a George Farmer as the head of this household? This is embarrassing. Okay? I don't like to go into people's, whatever they do in their household is their business. But the stuff is outside right now, guys. Okay? It's just like, oh my gosh. All right. Now, as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit in everything to their husbands. So to me, because Candace Owens told us that George Farmer supports everything that she's doing. She stands by. You know what I mean? So at this point, George Farmer approves of this because that's what Candace Owens says. So we have to believe her. That's what she said. So to me, I'm looking at this like, wow, George, you approve all this as a man, as a Catholic man, as an English man? Man, so much trouble, guys. This is way too much. Way too much. Way too much. You know? Way too much. So, Lady Candace. Okay? So, this is where they, look at this, the highlights. Okay? Take a look at this. All right. Here we go. Thank you guys for being here. I know this stuff is it's something, whatever territories. You know what I mean? Like, yes, people, whatever you do in your household, it's between you and your husband, yes. But once the stuff starts coming out, it shows, guys, okay? When women are under the leadership of their husband and when they are not, you cannot hide that. It just shows. It just shows, okay? So he watched it, okay. All right, this is Twitter. All right.
Were written, a particular set of messages that were written on April 6th, 2018, just a couple of weeks before Kanye tweeted, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks," which is relevant because a lot of things changed after that tweet. And it's relevant because Charlie sensed that something big was about to happen. And I think that is what the something big was. I also want to say, obviously, I am not making up these messages, okay? Turning Point. Actually, Mikey McCoy has access to all of Charlie Kirk's messages. They can tell you that these ones are real. Here is what he wrote. We were again talking about Kanye. Charlie wrote to me, "You're going to be the Iron Lady of America." He had such a political vision for me. I never wanted that sort of a thing. I see it so freaking clearly. I might be Moses, though. I might not see this whole thing through. LMAO. If that is the case, be my David. I said, dude, you haven't even realized your power yet. You're so young, was what I was thinking. He said, if I tell you the true prophecy that I know in my gut, it's really sad, but I hope it's wrong. He went on to say, anyway, I am not sure if I will live to see the end of this revolution. I believe you were the piece that God meant me to meet that will finish the fight. Since the beginning of TPUSA, I knew in my gut that I might get wiped out at any time. I cannot explain it, but I dream about it all the time, like all the time. Anyway, that's depressing combo for another time, LMAO. I said, that's weird, more of a fear manifestation than an actualization. He said, I'm not really afraid of it, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true. And he told me that. I don't know why. Charlie knew he was going to die young. And I don't know. I just felt like I needed to share that because it is in part why the moment that Charlie got shot, I just.
So, because of that information, she feels entitled to be the person to take over Turning Point. Because Charlie Kirk said that, you're going to be the one. You see what I'm saying? So, this is very dangerous. I worry for Candace. Pray for her. Because she's believing these things. Okay? Like those text messages are real. I'm not saying that they're not, right? But the time frame when those happen, she's not counting for that. Those messages happened in 2018 before both of them got married. You see what I'm saying? So yes, that's what Charlie Kirk was saying. If the incident had happened during that time and she's putting out this message, oh, I should be the person in charge of Turning Point, people would have been like, okay, you know what I mean? There wouldn't have been so much, nothing you could have done about it. But this is years later. You know what I mean? This is years later after both of them, they've got different lives. Why would you think that you should be the one being in charge of Turning Point? Does that even make sense? Like, why would Charlie Kirk leave Turning Point to Candace Owens bypassing Erica Kirk? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm so troubled that she sees this as evidence for her to be in charge of Turning Point. That's why she's not happy of the succession. She actually said that. Why are we rushing to the succession plan? It shouldn't. This is crazy, okay? But this was, to me, this was like, okay. All right, take a look at this. All right. Candace again. Here we go, guys, man. This is not good. This is bad. All right, where are you? Here you go.
But I was so clearly deluded in the immediate aftermath of his death that I was operating under this function. I mean, I truly believed that I would be fighting for answers to what actually happened on 9/10 alongside Charlie's inner circle. I thought the band maybe was going to get back together. We were all going to maybe be on a group chat. Me, Tyler Boyer, Andrew Colvett, Stacey Sheridan even. If you're wondering who Stacey Sheridan is, by the way, she's the one who's holding the camera when Charlie's casket is being escorted off of Air Force Two. She's like the chief money person, essentially, at Turning Point USA. She was brought in to reel in the big donors. I remember exactly when that happened. All of those people, by the way, were actually brought in by Tyler Boyer. He's a very important character in the story, but we're going to get into all of that tomorrow. The point that I'm making here is that I had assumed, clearly wrongly, that we'd all maybe be on a group chat communicating, raising hell and demanding answers from the feds, from the police, from the White House even. Certainly, at the very least, pointing out the very many holes in this story. And if any one of us had the audacity or the desire to carry on Charlie Kirk's show, that would be the appropriate venue for asking those sorts of questions. But no, I was wrong.
How does she know that they are not asking those questions? How? She has no evidence. And not only that, this idea of her obsessing that she had to be in the chat, in the inner circle. No, you don't have to be in the inner circle. They don't need you. If they wanted you, you would have been already at Turning Point. You are not there. There was no point for them to add you to the chat. And if you know all this about Charlie Kirk, why didn't you do something about it prior to Charlie Kirk's death? Why now? Why now? Why now? Why now? This does not make any sense.
Silence. Silence is what we were met with. In fact, I am told that these people believe the official narrative. Lone shooter. No one else involved. Just a crazy guy with too many pronouns in his bio. Hey, 1963 called and they want their narrative back. All that's missing from the story is a grassy knoll, right? Just need a grassy knoll. Anyways, back at headquarters, I am told it's business as usual. And it's kind of giving me like, I don't know, LBJ when he gets sworn in that famous picture. Unfortunately, sworn in. Unfortunately, of course, he's sad in this photo. Gosh, he's obviously not wanting to be the president of the United States. JFK was shot and killed. And now LBJ has to step up, unfortunately. But I got to be honest, I wasn't there. I don't think LBJ was actually that upset. I don't know why. Vibes. The vibes just aren't vibing for me in that picture.
She doesn't think that LBJ was actually upset because of the vibes. You know what I mean? So to replace I don't think Erica Kirk was actually upset. The vibe is just not what? It's just not vibing. So she knows she cannot go too far to implicate, to say Erica Kirk is just going to use LBJ. But who are you talking about? Who is LBJ in the situation here? This lady, she's crossed the line. She's questioning the last will and testament of Charlie Kirk, leaving everything to the next of kin, who happens to be Erica Kirk, not Candace Farmer.
But maybe he was. Maybe the truth is that LBJ, simply use an expression, had his wits about him. And JFK had a plan. Like in the event that he had been horrifically assassinated in front of the world, JFK maybe had a succession plan. Now, if these terms I'm using here sound familiar to you, it's because they should sound familiar. It's the exact terminology that
That's why you have a vice president. Okay, it's in the Constitution. If something happens to the president, the vice presidents take over. That's how things work. But this lady is onto something.
was utilized by Pastor Rob McCoy just 4 days after Charlie was murdered. In front of his congregation, he spoke about Charlie's succession plan that he was somehow privy to. I don't know why, but he knew 4 days later and announced to the world that Charlie indeed had a plan. Take a listen.
Everyone's worried about the
She's jealous that Pastor Rob McCoy knew about the plans of Charlie Kirk and the succession plan at Turning Point, and it wasn't Candace Owens. If you were in the inner circle, Candace Owens, you would have known. The fact that you didn't know proves that you were not in the inner circle. Do you think that Pastor Rob McCoy is the one who decided this? No, the board decided. Okay, and Erica Kirk is in charge, whether you like it or not. So move along, Mrs. Farmer.
leadership of TPUSA. Don't. He was wise enough at 31 to put together a plan for succession. It's very clear what they decided, and they're implementing it now.
Amazing. I mean, amazing. So on September 14th, we were made aware of this succession plan, and I find that to be fascinating. The people who didn't even know Charlie all around the world seem to be fighting harder for him, fighting harder for truth. And it is, in fact, thanks to people on the internet like Sam Parker, James Lee, Ian Carroll, Zeb Boykin.
So everybody else is fighting harder for Charlie Kirk. Only Candace Owens. Nobody else is doing anything about it. But they are the ones who are getting the blessings of Turning Point USA. So yes, guys, this is things have gone west side, guys. Okay, things have gone west side right now. All right, guys, let's finish up with this one. So now, I don't know where these people are getting this idea of exposing the text messages. It's not proper, to be honest. You know, like this, the same thing like we talked about the cell phone. Something happens, people whip up their phones. It's not proper. So I think the text messages are back. So now we have Tucker Carlson. Now Tucker Carlson wants to enter in. Okay. I don't trust Tucker. He wants to reap where he didn't sow. It looks like he wants to find a way to in these issues, in this Turning Point USA. And because like everybody else is looking at Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson to me is the Trojan horse, if you ask me. So watch this, what he had to say. Okay? Tuck. I'm like, why didn't you guys say these things when Charlie Kirk was alive? Why are you saying these things now that Charlie Kirk is dead? There's no way for us to ask and verify. Okay, take a look at this.
Not like Bibi Netanyahu, and he said that to me many times, and he said it to people around him many times. He felt that Bibi Netanyahu was a very destructive force. He was appalled by what was happening in Gaza. He was, above all, resentful that he believed Netanyahu was using the United States to prosecute his wars for the benefit of his country, and that it was shameful and embarrassing and bad for the United States, and he resented it. Didn't hate Netanyahu. He wasn't out there with a placard saying that, but he certainly expressed that to me and a lot of other people. And there's no question that Bibi's defenders on the internet will call me a liar or a kook, but that's a fact. And enough text messages exist that I think it can probably be verified in pretty short order. Not that it needs to be, because that is true. Shortly after that speech, there was a very intense attack on Charlie, and to some extent on me, not that I really noticed. But on him, I have no donors. He had $100 million worth of donors. And so, because he was involved in a different project from just yapping on the internet, which is what I do for a living, he was dependent to a great extent on his donors, of course. It's a nonprofit. And they went after him and tormented him. Not all, of course, many were supportive, but the ones who were offended by my speech, and there was a small, very intense group who were, tormented Charlie Kirk until the day he died.
So there you have Tucker Carlson. Okay, if the donors are giving you money, they will tell you what they want. You either receive the money or you don't. If you're receiving the money, you are accepting the demands that are behind it. The day you stop is the day they also stop donating. That's just how things work. So yeah, we saw in that text messages, Israeli donors they're not happy with Tucker, because Tucker and Israel, they're the opposites. So my thing is just like, okay, what is this information? What is the purpose of this information? What is the purpose of this information? If it says something, okay. But to me, I'm like, okay, everybody is out here. Oh, Charlie said this, Charlie said that, Charlie said this. Okay, so Charlie Kirk did not like the Prime Minister of Israel. Okay, and what does that do? What does that do? What does that prove? He's not here to say otherwise. Okay, we grant to you, Tucker Carlson, you're 100% correct. Charlie Kirk did not like Bibi. What? So what? So what should we do with that information? So he's not the only one. Now we have D'Souza here. Why is he putting this? Because Tucker Carlson interviewed Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes and Charlie Kirk were the polar opposites. Okay? So this is what D'Souza put out. I'm posting 2 text exchanges with Charlie Kirk where he calls Nick Fuentes vermin and insists even my debating him and defeating his arguments nevertheless amplifies him. One can only imagine what Charlie would say about Tucker's, leaking interview with Fuentes. Okay? So this is Charlie Kirk to D'Souza. Surprised by Fuentes' demeanor and welcome the challenge after the Fuentes, This was a massive mistake that you did this. He's a vermin, and you just gave him one of the biggest boosts of his career. So, because Tucker Carlson is now associating himself with Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA wants to carry on Charlie Kirk's legacy. And Tucker platformed Nick Fuentes. And there's uproar that's going on Twitter right now. So now everybody is saying like, okay, you are out here saying Charlie Kirk did not like Bibi. Well, their text message over here, Charlie did not like Nick Fuentes. And that's not a secret, by the way, okay? Nick and Charlie did not see eye to eye. That's not a lie. But, everybody knows what the majority of people think of Nick Fuentes, Yeah. But to be fair, even Nick Fuentes is looking at, like, even said something about Candace Owens, like, what are you doing? Okay? So Nick did not like Charlie Kirk at all. But even Nick Fuentes can see what Candace Owens is doing. This is just, like, Candace, just keep quiet. You either produce evidence or you keep quiet. So even Nick Fuentes can actually see whatever Candace Owens is doing, it's something else. So that tells you the state of affairs that we are in right now, guys. Can you imagine? And I was wrong. Charlie did attend their wedding. Yes. So this picture, yes, Charlie went to Candace Owens' wedding. They did attend the wedding. Yeah. Yeah, Charlie attended the wedding. Because Candace got married in 2019. Charlie got married in 2020. Charlie and Erica started dating in 2019. Yeah, they started dating in 2019. So yeah, they were invited. And the wedding was at one of Trump's facilities, by the way. So yeah, so that's actually the picture at Candace's wedding. Yes, guys. Yep. Charlie and PBD not long after October 7th. Charlie, yes, exactly, yes. Charlie did, yeah. So it's that's not in dispute. Like Charlie did an interview with PBD, and he wasn't happy. Some people are calling him anti-Semite, all these other things. That's true. Okay, that's absolutely true. Yes. So that's not in dispute at all. Yeah. The issue is Candace wants to portray that, like, oh, Charlie was completely done. He was actually writing the book about the Sabbath, the Shabbat, coming out in December. He did critique Israel for real, okay? But the later, he also gave them, this is how you can counter, and I can actually offer to help. And he hosted a debate between Dave Smith and Josh Hammer. Both of them are Jews, by the way, but they see things differently. Yeah, so that's there. Yeah. I personally don't have a problem if Charlie Kirk was going to walk away from Israel, whatever. But the issue is this issue. If you're out here accusing Israel, did on Charlie Kirk, let's see the evidence. If it's whosoever it is, I don't care who it is, right? Show us the evidence. We're not going to carry order for Bibi or for Israel. We are Team Truth. We want the truth to come out. And we're just not going to accuse Israel because people don't like Israel, or accuse Bibi because Charlie did not like Bibi. No. Just like that guy, right, in the cell phone. That was dumb. He shouldn't have done that. But now we're just not going to conclude, oh, he had something to do with it because what he did was stupid. Like, no, we can't. You know what I mean? Yeah. I saw that they had the pyrotechnics over there, all the stuff that's going, just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not good. You know what I mean? We did a video over here. Charlie was going to the Catholic Mass, like, no. Like, what are you doing a Catholic Mass with your family? So no, we are Team Truth according to the scriptures. Roman Catholic is an apostate church. So we're not going to be like, it's fine. No, it's not. Yeah. So those are the things, right? Yeah. The people who are going to like that, the people who are not going to like it. But, if you say, I agree with Candace, that guy, what he did, like, no, that wasn't kosher. Yeah. So if Candace Owens says something that's true, I have no problem affirming it. But if she's out here going to these rabbit holes with no evidence, accusing people left and right, with no evidence, it's wrong. Like, we are Christians, right? We have to uphold the scriptures, whether we like the people or not, right? Yeah. So, but all in all, we need to pray for Candace Owens. Because to me, a person who follows Christ, who is a genuine believer of Christ, cannot be doing what Candace Owens is. So, more than her solving the issue of Charlie Kirk, it's her soul. She needs to get right with God. She needs to repent and believe the gospel. That is what is more important. And that's the message that Charlie Kirk took to these places, right? Sharing the gospel. So it's very unfortunate. Yeah? Yes. But that was before Israel. The statement, sorry, let me read this. But that was before Israel gave their statement after the invasion. Charlie's statements on PBD. Oh, so which came first? Did the PBD came first or the later came first? Let me know. At Doda at Galatians, let me know. Which came first, PBD or the later? Or which one? So now it's crazy, guys. Absolutely. Charlie was yes, I do not approve that issue. Yes, ecumenical, and that was yes. No, yeah. So no, I don't shy away with that issue. Okay, I already did a video there, just like anytime you mix in these issues, being ecumenical, the result you're going to have is going to be something else. The same thing happened. The memorial, that was ecumenical coming in together. You know what I mean? You had the people who sing. There's people, even Rob McCoy promotes the Seven Mountains, the New Apostolic Reformation. No, we don't agree to those things. You have Mormons. Tyler Boy is Mormon. A lot of people work for Turning Point are actually Mormons. So you have Mormons, you have Catholics, you have evangelicals. You mix together, whatever you're going to have, it's not going to be Christianity. So no, that we call that out for what it is. Them going to a Catholic Mass, them getting a priest coming in. No, sorry. Okay, him not going to church, spending so much time on the road, not going to church. Sorry, that no. As believers, we're supposed to be part of a local church. There's nothing that is more important. Okay, you cannot be spending more time on the road promoting MAGA than you being a member of your local church. So yeah, so we've done videos about those things. So yeah, we cannot. PBD came first. So yeah, so you see, so even that, right? So PBD came first, but he sent the letter after all that. Yeah, so it's yeah. So this is also the problem, like you see, because the Catholics, Taka is Catholic, so the Catholics want to claim Charlie, evangelicals claiming Charlie, and the Mormon all over the place, and now we have Candace Owens, and this is what we're getting. Yeah, so yeah, it's so all these other things, whatever he did good, we promote that, praise God for those things. The things that he did bad, we take a lesson from those things, not to repeat those things, right? Like to be like, no, as Christians, we cannot operate like this, right? We don't want to sweep things under the rugs, that things especially that undermining the scriptures. It's not just like, he prefers ice vanilla to chocolate. No. Catholic, it's not a small matter, okay? It's a fundamental issue. Yeah. So those are the things. But yeah, no, all in all, this was amazing. You guys are simply the best. You are simply the best. Yes, so we Lady Candace, I think we did finish her up over here, man. Yeah, so she's not done, guys, okay? Because she put another video. I was just like, man, what are we going to do with this Mrs. Farmer? Yeah. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. It was so good to see you. Yeah. All right, George Farmer does approve. Yeah, Candace told us that George Farmer approves, so we'll take Candace's word. She says the husband approves. All right, the husband approves. But we're gonna go to the scripture and to see if the scripture approves what George Farmer is doing. The scripture has the final say. Yeah, scripture has final say. Yes, guys.
All lies will be exposed.
Yes, exactly.
That's all.
Yes,
Some of y'all better get y'all discernment together.
Yes, that's what we need. Yeah, discernment. But this one is for you. Yes, 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 that's for you. I do appreciate you guys. It was so nice seeing you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We should definitely continue these conversations in the comment section, because the Candace Owens court members, they do come for your girl, okay? So let's pound the comment sections. Don't forget to like this video on your way out. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Double check to make sure you're a subscriber, because YouTube does some purges every now and then. But all in all, I do appreciate your viewership. Thank you for sharing your comments. Let's continue in the comment section. Stay tuned, more coming this week. That is all that I had for you guys today. I hope you find this to be informative to you. Until next time, remember, theology matters. Thank you.